Hi guys, welcome back to Maria Unleashed, to the very first episode in the new year. I'm very excited. I'm just back from Berlin, and I would have loved to take my equipment to the capital and just report straight from Berlin. But in the end, we are not yet set up for that. But soon I will take you, I promise you. But we had some really cool conversations there, or I did, with my friends, and it would have been amazing to just set up the camera quickly and just let it roll. But I'm going to repeat one story that's actually a bit stuck to my head. So number one is making $1 million an hour. Do we like that or not? So that was one conversation that was actually very, very, very interesting, and again, like in the heart of Berlin, the city is going crazy at times, and it's just absurd that you see such a big gap, especially these days, of even though it's a rich country, from poor people living there to people making a million. I don't know, I believe it was an hour. It was crazy. Anyway, so we're going to talk about that. Do we like that or not? Then I definitely want to give you an update from Berlin, because most people, or many people, are like, whoa, talk about Berlin. For me, it's just so normal and boring. But I'm going to talk a little bit about Berlin, what it was like, and what else. Yes, I also want to talk about why you should definitely quit your boring job that you hate and start whatever job it is you love, really. Because just recently I had to take on a separate, or like a second job, and I needed a bit of extra cash. And I just realized how miserable that is. If you, like, for me, I knew it was just like a little gap job, right? But imagine you have to work a job you hate, and especially if it's a nonsense job. Insane, really insane. I always do jobs that I love, right? If it's big money, small money, it doesn't really matter. But the one thing that actually matters is that I love it, because I spend so much time, I give it my all. And I want to make sure that I enjoy at least that, right? If it's not the $1 million an hour job, at least I have a good time there while I'm there. So, and this job was great team as always, like amazing team, best team in the world. It's just the clients were just, like, again, nonsense stuff, like selling people stuff they don't need. Insane. It's really insane. And while I was doing that, I was just like reminded of my time in the advertising industry just before I started Green Planet Cosmetics, so my brand. And I'm like, yeah, I'm never gonna go back to that. And I forgot what it's like to work a job you hate. Again, like, I loved my job, I just didn't like the clients, I didn't like the type of job or the project I sometimes got, right? And I cannot always choose, because you need to pay the bills. So sometimes you have to take jobs that are just nonsense but pay the bills. And again, sometimes, is what it is, good enough. But if you always do that, if you have to do that every day of the week, shit, I mean, yeah, I don't know how you do it. How miserable. Like, don't. If you are that person, if you're like, shit, that's me, honestly, I don't know how you do it. Just know you don't have to do it. And I just want to quickly, talk about that, especially it's a new year. Most people are still motivated, I hope. And yeah, it's really just so worth doing your own thing, like doing the job you want to do, whatever that is. If it's a business of your own, service, products, online shop, whatever, it doesn't matter. Or if it's just a different team, or if it's just a different job, right? But yeah, really, it's so worth, like, really searching for the job that's actually worth your effort, your time, your love. But yeah, let's start. Let's start with $1 million an hour. Isn't that nice? So that was an interesting one, and I really hope, like, that is a person I definitely want to have as a like a frequent guest. And I cannot wait to record our conversations. They're just epic every time. And she is an original as well. It's so much fun. But it will be in German though, sadly. Sadly. But if you do speak German, if you understand it, it's like you wanna tune in. Okay, so she said, so we always update each other. We meet usually like maybe once or twice a year, very rarely, but if we do, we make a count. And one conversation was, just like checking status quo, what's going on, like living situation, living standard in Berlin. Because I left because it was really going downhill for me. And like, I spent my 20s, or some of my 20s, in Berlin. Like, whenever I was in Germany, I was in Berlin. And back then, Berlin was a different city. Like right now, I would never move there again. Or actually, I was so desperate because we are really struggling to find like a long-term lease. That I was actually considering going back to Berlin. And that means, like, if you know me, that means, okay, shit, the problem. All right, so I was asking her, like, what's going on? Tell me, do you know anyone? Blah, blah, blah. And Berlin used to be this very affordable city, which obviously attracts a lot of artists or like people, with a very free spirit and jobs that don't really pay a lot yet, right? So when I was in the advertising industry, film industry a lot, so that's what I did in Berlin actually. I started out in the film industry. Loved it. And the reason I could afford it to live there in the capital of Germany was because Berlin was a place that's very, very affordable. And honestly, we lived like, one place was crazy. It was more like it's called besetztes Haus. So more or less people lived there without paying rent. And we did pay rent. My rent was 160 euro a month. And we had this very old school Berlin apartment in the center of Berlin, or almost like Mitte, Prenzlauer Berg, that area. And yeah, it was just this made to, we didn't have a balcony, but we had a lot of construction work going on. So it was this entire block that was empty. And I believe we were eight parties in this entire block. So 8 flats with people. And it was wild. It was absolutely wild. But however, so it was affordable, it was cheap until they removed the roof. So, and that was when we all had to, at some point, move to another flat. And from there, I went to another place, also very close by, and I paid, I believe, less than 300 euro, 290 bucks or what, plus Nebenkosten. Okay, so maybe 400 a month, including Wi-Fi, electricity, water, everything. And that was expensive. So that was actually considered expensive. I remember that the guys who interviewed me for this place were like, oh, we were actually, we were like, oh shit, it's probably too expensive. Isn't that crazy? 400 bucks, too expensive. Okay. And yeah, it was at the time when you pay 100, 150, 160 for a room or like a 2-bedroom apartment, and you share with only one person. So in London, I paid, converted to euro, almost 1,000 euros for a room, which I had to share in the flat with like 3 other people. Crazy. However, so that was a situation in Berlin. It was very cheap. It wasn't luxurious or anything. It was just rock and roll, but it was real. And that is what I loved about the city. So all the people, no one was so, I don't know, they were just who they were. And you liked them or not, and it didn't really matter. But they were truly like, you could, in that city, you could really show who you are, no matter how freaky, right? And no one would care because they've seen it all. And I really liked that. And well, for me, that changed, but I gotta say, I changed a lot as well. So Berlin is very raw. Yeah, just very raw. And it's ugly. It's ugly. It's not pretty at all. And especially not in winter. It was, holy shit. I'm prepared. I know this. But yeah, coming from Spain and going there, it's like, shit. It was all foggy and gray. And the first week, we didn't see the sun or the blue sky one day, not once, like a whole week of just fog, thick clouds, always gray. It's never really light. It's like, yeah, it's dark all day. Like for me, that's the worst. Like it's not even the temperature. I love warm weather, but I can handle cold, I just have, in Berlin, I have my clothes for that. But the darkness is just, oh, no, it's not for me. However, it was just, just a visit to the family and friends. So it was fine. But the mood from coming from Spain, going to Berlin, insane. Like the mood of the people. But at that point, these guys are already living in darkness for 3 months. So you can literally see everyone. And because it's so cold and it's just disgusting, it's rainy and cold. I don't know. It's not nice. And again, you do not see the sunlight. And sometimes for weeks, it is insane. And even if you do, it's maybe for a few hours because then it's dark again. I don't know. For me, it's really not for me. And I've done it so many years. I'm born and raised there, and I'm like, no. So everyone is just literally, covered in layers of clothing, and just like, and you can literally feel the aggression and the, I don't know, almost like they're so negative, and I totally feel it. I was negative too when I lived there. But it's interesting. The vibe of the city is very interesting. So, and I was just surprised, it's going completely overboard with the prices in Berlin as well. So now a flat that, I just described from almost 200 to 400 euro is now minimum 1,500, 2,000 euro. But people don't really make more money. So, and that is a whole situation. It's everywhere. I know it's everywhere, but yeah, crazy. So, and I'm just, updating my friend. I'm like, hey, this is this and that and that. What's going on in Berlin? Like, do you know anyone? What is the price? And, she's also like, hey, listen, if I'm losing my place here, and she is on an old contract, so that is why she still has a very affordable rent for a very big place. And she says if she ever has to leave this place, she cannot afford to live in Berlin anymore. And she has a very good job. But still, she says, I'm alone, and there's no way I can then only pay for the job, but don't have any sort of living standard, as in going out for food, drinks, or what, or just buy some nice stuff for you, or just go on holiday. She couldn't do that. She would then only pay for her rent. Insane. But I know it's in a lot of places. But and she says, can you believe, so she's also in the TV business, and she goes on like, hey, can you believe that some people, they make 1 million an hour? And I'm like, yeah, I've heard crazy stories like that. I can, yes. Like, it's absurd. I'm like, well, it is for sure. But she was like, I don't like that. That shouldn't be it. Like, no, that should be forbidden and it shouldn't be allowed. And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. I see, it is obscene, slightly crazy, but in the end, I don't really mind. I don't really mind whatever, as if you earn the money, if you are, I really hope you at least earn it in a decent way, and you also help some other people, like, again, the job I was working, this selling shit to people they don't need, making an hour or 1 million an hour that way, I would not be, oh my God, how sad. But if you do it, if you have an invention that's just really changing millions of lives or whatever, if it's, such an impact, whatever, earn 1 million a day, an hour, I don't care, right? It's like, I don't care, because it doesn't change my life. It is, you can earn as much as you want. And I talk about that in other episodes as well. And especially in Germany, it's a lot of people, my family, when I talk to them, especially when I was working in advertising, the money you make is insane for such a short period of time. And I'm like, but why should I earn less money? How am I helping you by earning less money? If any, you should earn more money. You should say, hey, for, let's say you are a nurse, you are saving lives, like for real. The advertising industry, we are not saving any lives. And these guys do, but yet we make more money than them. And instead of saying we should earn less, I always say, but hey, you guys should earn more. And that is why I'm saying, I don't mind. I hope everyone should make 1 million, right? And then spend it for good, like support your people with that. Instead of just supporting Chinese huge companies. And that is also happening a lot in the area I grew up in. It's really like, this Amazon is booming, and everyone is just cheap. And now they are coming to that area and building big factories there. And I'm like, yeah, what did you think happens? And do you honestly believe that das Arbeitsrecht in Germany, the rights for workers and what is very high, like they have a lot of rights. And even though sometimes, if they don't show up to work for a year, they would still get paid and shit like that. And I'm like, do you actually believe that when Chinese companies come, that you can pull that? No. So I'm just saying, if you want to have these standards, if you want to maintain them, if you want local people with local jobs and cafes and restaurants and shops you go to and really enjoy also the city life, this atmosphere, which makes Europe so special, you should leave your money there. And yes, it costs more money, but don't you want to be paid a proper decent wage as well? And that is where I'm really trying to just educate them a little, because they are very much like, but this person earns more and they should earn less. And I'm always like, no one should earn less. We should all earn more. right? It is a mindset. So if this person earns less money, then they don't come to your shop and spend their money because they have no money to spend. Now, in what world is that actually helpful? It does not help anyone. No one. And also the government, they want our tax money. They get rich on us, going out and drinking coffee all day. They earn with everything we buy. And so it's not beneficial for them. It's not for us. It's not for you. So what are you talking about? We should all earn less money. No, you want to earn more money. So why can you not be happy for people who make $1 million an hour, right? However, so that was my goal. I'm like, but why does it bother you so much? And she goes like, well, first of all, it's just disgusting that some people for some random job gets $1 million. It doesn't really matter a day, an hour, whatever. It's just, at that point, it doesn't matter anymore. It is a lot of money. And she says, and then compared to other people who are really making it possible, like the lives in the city, people who go, I don't know, and do the stuff like being a teacher, being a bus driver, or working in a grocery store, all these people make like 12 euros an hour. And then some other person $1 million an hour. And she said, I'm sorry, but there's no, that's just absurd. And it also kind of really demotivates everyone who goes to work for like 10 or 20 bucks an hour. And I'm like, okay, I see that point. I do see that. It's this not being like, it's so disrespectful. I understand that. And that was a good point where I really was like, okay, I see that. Yeah, I do understand that. But still, I was still like going, okay. So again, my point being, they should all earn more money instead of someone else earning less. Because again, I didn't really see that. Why should people earn less? I don't know. And then she goes like, okay, but how do you feel about the power split there? And I'm like, okay, what do you mean? She's like, okay, if a person makes that much money and then we round it up a month and then a year, and it's like this billion, trillion, whatever, is whatever you have there. Isn't that insane to have like some people are still struggling to just, make ends meet for normal basic stuff every month. And then this other person with that money, and money means power, suddenly has so much power to literally influence everything, the economy, the politics, stuff like that. I'm like, okay, yeah, that I see 100 million%. Like, okay, I see your point there for sure. And because I was like thinking, shit, these are, in crypto, these are the whales that are literally like making or breaking a deal, right? Where it's just like, isn't it insane that one person can just spend the money or just cash out the money and suddenly the entire market crashes or goes up through the roof? And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I see that. I know what you mean now. So yeah, a very, very interesting conversation. Again, I would really love to just put the mic there and the camera and just record these really insane, great conversations with like real people and their struggles as well. Because there is such a huge gap between not even poor, but being normal, just a normal job, a normal, like what, and that now suddenly is like already nothing anymore, like worth, the value of your work. And that's what she said as well. Like, it's insane that some people do essential jobs and they get paid a tenner an hour while other people make this absurd money. So yeah, it's very, very interesting. And I'm wondering, what do you guys say? Should you be able to earn $1 million an hour? Or, are you like, whatever? Or do you agree that it could lead to a lot of problems? So I'm very interested to see what you guys are saying. But yeah, that was an interesting one. And I definitely see her points. I still believe everyone should earn more money. And I also kind of don't like when people kind of cap the money or the whatever it is you're seeking is capped. Because on the other hand, if people work very hard and if that is their center of, if that is their life goal, their purpose, and if that is what is driving them, and if they are not hurting anyone, why should they not earn that much money? Like really, for me personally, I'm like, I don't know, but I definitely do see her point also in it is just maybe a little bit too much power for one person. So yeah, interesting. What do you guys say? And also speaking of money and speaking of being able to film and just to have a little travel kit, if you like that type of content, head over to Patreon. Please check out my tier levels if you like it, because I have really cool stuff. I really try to make it interesting for you and to really give you a lot of value. And maybe you like what you see. Please, if you do, consider becoming a paid member. Otherwise, just sign up for free. That's super cool as well. Helps me out, helps the algorithm to say, oh, that's interesting content. Let's just, whatever. I don't know how Patreon works really. I don't know, but it helps. It helps if people sign up. So yeah, if you want. Otherwise, just subscribe and like my YouTube channel. That helps for sure. So yeah, very soon I will hopefully be able to have my little travel kit. Yeah, that's the next big one on my list, to really take you with me and also to provide the visuals and also set up a proper set, actually, because right now I'm playing hide and seek with the sun. My neighbors are going crazy again, and it's a Sunday, but whatever. So I'm just saying, slowly, step by step, and together we just do crazy stuff. I love it. I have a lot of great vision and ideas and goals I want to achieve. And yeah, I can't wait to take you along. Next big one I want to talk about. Yeah, next big one, and then we talk a little bit more about Berlin. Crazy city, Berlin. So as I said in the beginning, like the other big one, and that is also conversations with my friends, and these guys I've been knowing for such a long time, and we started out together as interns in the fashion industry, and film advertising industry. And yeah, it's just so sad to see that the passion they once had is literally like a little glimpse left. And it's just so sad to see that they just don't want to quit. They don't want to change. They are so hanging on to their safety, security beliefs. And I get that. I get it, dude. I want that too. I like to believe. It helps me sleep at night to know I am in control, control and security or safety. And it's a fucking illusion. It doesn't exist. It exists. It's nothing. It is what helps us sleep at night. It is a belief. And it's a great belief. And especially the control, or being in control. Oh man, I love it. To believe I am in control. But in the end, we are really not. And sometimes I'm just like, again, I understand it 100%, 100%, I get it. But seeing them, how really almost broken some are, and from, back in the day, 10, 15 years ago, to what's happening now. But unfortunately, they grew up like me with the belief that you need to have one job. So especially where I'm from, so I'm from the east side in Germany, my grandparents. So that was war, Second World War, first the first, then the second. Then my family almost had no men left. They all died in the war. And then you have the women left who now have to raise a family and make money and have no time to cry, to just really go through and process all the emotions. There's just no such thing, right? So I believe that is why Germans are also so very German. I don't know how to describe it, but they are pretty tough and hard outside, very cold almost. I don't know, it's weird. When you know them, they're amazing, like great people, very loyal as well, but it's very hard to crack their shell, really. And I always wondered, why is that? And then you go back in time and it's like, yeah, of course, that is, why are they so suspicious of other new people? Well, maybe at least from, again, my family, I can say what they said is during that separation of East and West Germany and Berlin, it's like, they divided a city. What? Families from now to tomorrow. It's like, that's it. So you happen to be somewhere grocery shopping and you weren't allowed back in. It's literally crazy like that. And then suddenly they everything is different, and then no one is allowed to leave. And then they have people set up, like during COVID, where they're like, like snitches oh, what are they doing? Who's that? And then they report you. So everyone has this big little file, or big or little file, and with stuff about them. And then you never know, are the neighbors reporting me? Who is that person? Is that actually a friend, or is it actually just someone spying on me? So that was real for them every day of the week. You never knew. And that is probably, I don't know, hey, that is just because I am now, I left when I was 19, 20, almost 20. I traveled the world. I lived in so many different places. I've, just discovered so many new cultures and languages. And it's just like so interesting to see during the same time that was happening in Germany, that other people were just free to go wherever, travel and do what they want to do. While these people, like where I'm from, were not even allowed to listen to the music they wanted to listen to. They were not allowed to have money. They were not allowed to have their own businesses, because the business they once had was now a property of the state. They took that from you. Is that insane or what? And you were not allowed to have any property, no money, no nothing. But in return, whatever that return is, but everything like living wise was cheap. Rent cheap, food cheap, like at least the basic groceries. I mean, they didn't have anything else. Like I remember my dad telling me, so happy to have one orange a year for Christmas. And then my grandma said sometimes they came early, like in November, but they were only allowed to eat them December, because it's supposed to be this one Christmas treat. So they had to leave the oranges, a fresh, amazing orange, lie there, and then eat it when it's almost gone. Yeah. So this is also very German for me. Like, no, it has to be like this, and this is this, and that, and that, and that. And this is why I say it's so fucking crazy. It's so crazy. But yeah, and I felt so sorry for them. It's just the one treat they have a year, and then they have to eat it when it's almost gone. And like, oh, whatever. Yeah, it is really crazy. Anyway, the older I get, the more I understand why people maybe are the way they are. And they also believed that you need to have one job. So you finish school, you start a job. So it wasn't even study, it was you start a job, you earn money, and then you stay with that job for the next 50 years, and then you retire, and that's it. So that is it, really. And that's what my grandma says, my other grandma says, my parents said, this is it. And obviously my parents also brought me up with this belief, or they tried to. It never stuck with me, because I don't believe in it. It makes no sense. That's it. Like, if you have a second, just actively think about it. And it was hard for me, especially because everyone else, like where I grew up, all of these people, there was no one. It was a little village. So no one from somewhere, or whatever, England, came over there and, brought a new language or told them what it was like in England and London. No one did. So these guys grew up with their families, with the history of that, and then they just carry that into the next generation. And then everyone, I didn't know anyone who spoke a different language or who traveled to foreign places, none. So obviously that is what everyone tells you. And then the kids, like my friends, they were also like, oh no, when I grow up and then, I'm 20, I'm 23, and then I have kids and this and this and that. And I don't believe they said that because that's what they really wanted. I believe they said it because that's what their parents said to them. That's what we were being told. And I also said that at some point, until I actually left Germany and I went out in the world. And suddenly I realized, hey, wait a second. I actually have a choice here. I don't have to do it that way. Like, especially in London. And I mean, London is a very special place again, because it's this big city. And it used to be the financial hub of Europe. And obviously you go there to make money. And the goal is a completely different one than, let's say, in the English countryside. So yes, it is a special case again. But I didn't know anyone there who had kids with 20, or where that was the goal, the objective. It was always, hey, I study, and then, I start a job. Or first of all, they go travel. Like, I met a lot of people who just went traveling after school like me. So I wanted to learn English. I decided, hey, let's go. Wanted to go to America. It was too complicated with the visa. So I decided, okay, let's stay within Europe. Where can I go? Want to learn English? Cool, I'll go to London. And that's what I did. And that's where I also met people. Like, that's amazing. Like, it's such a cool international hub, the city. you meet so many people, and that's where I met the first Spanish guys as well. And yeah, it's just from every place, really. And yeah, it was great. It was a great experience, but it also left me a little bit shocked in a sense that why did no one tell us that? So why are we being kept in this belief, right? And of course, because our parents didn't leave, no one told them. And now, and then when I go back and meet my school friends, all of them, like some of them are, they traveled and they totally know they have options, but there are some people who are still not aware. And it's very interesting to see how different that is, and especially this belief, and it became part of them, and they are so scared now, as I said, so scared to leave a job they hate. And I'm like, why do you do that to yourself? Like, are you still you? You are so far away from the person, the happy person, this like open person, right? And now it's like it's just being grumpy, being frustrated. And now you also see people, intelligent people, like blaming now. In Germany, you blame the foreigners. So if you are unhappy with stuff, it's the foreigners. It's so interesting. I don't know, in some other countries, it's something else, but it's interesting actually, because I would actually blame the government and not the foreigners, but that's just me. So it's very, very interesting. But yeah, I more and more I see now how certain events in Germany happened, and I believe they can totally happen again. And it's insane to me because now we have all this the knowledge at our fingertips. We have all the connections globally. You can just literally ask and see and just exchange, have exchange conversations, like anything, ideas, brainstorm, whatnot. Run your whatever it is mindset with other people. So when I feel like I'm so stuck right now and this and that, then I go to people. I'm like, I'm sorry, can I just, like, is it me or is it everyone else? Like, please tell me, because maybe I am being in a complete fog. So I need people to guide me through it and to say, listen, you are being too negative right now. This is just, that's the point, because people then focus on all the negativity and they just see all the negative stuff and they completely forget the positive side. So it really depends. Do you focus on all the negative shit that's happening, or do you focus on all the positive things that are also happening, right? But we tend to just look at one thing, and that goes to all directions. You can just be in this dream world of, oh, I'm just looking at this and hey, fingers crossed and blah 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 blah, and then you can always be like, this sucks, that is shit, this and that and that and that is all bad. Instead of maybe saying, okay, that actually is going to shit right now. What can I do? What can I do? How can I make a difference with my decision? So if it's politics, you vote. And always, please use your own brain. Like, switch it on for a second. Think about the stuff you are being told, because politics, it's such a dirty business. I mean, for me, they're all liars. But again, that's just where I'm sitting. That is what I see, and that is what I can reflect. So that's what I say, right? I always want to believe you are in control. I am in control for my stuff, right? I cannot control everyone else, but I can at least, be responsible for my actions. And I know that I hold a great power, and so do you. You can shape the future or your city or whatever it is tomorrow and in the future, right? If you go and support the people you want to support, this is what you will see in the future. If you go out and, again, let's say this Amazon example I just said, and you just order everything from like huge companies in China, this is what you will find in the future, because everyone else will have to close down because they have no business left. And that's so important to see. So yes, I know we all struggle with the money at the moment, or not all of us, but some do. It's just what it is, man. I see it as a temporary situation. That is maybe my make-believe, I don't know, but it helps me sleep at night again. So I just look at stuff. What can I do? What can I do to get out of a situation? What can I actively do? And again, with the job, this is something, no one is going to knock on your door and say, hey, listen, I have your dream job, $1 million an hour. No one's going to do that. And it's just so sad that so many people just do it out of a habit, out of a belief they have to do it, out of fear. There's a lot of fear involved because yeah, that's what we've been told. Like, if you don't do it, you don't get a pension, you don't get, I don't know, whatever it is, and basically you're gonna die. And I know that my parents have a lot of fear like that as well. So they, are clinging to their jobs because they believe they will never find a different one, and then they're basically dead. I kid you not. Same if you take the health insurance from the Germans. They're gonna die the next day. That is like, they believe they cannot exist without. If I go to America, almost no one has one, and they just live on fine. They don't have nightmares. So it all really, and then I go to places in Africa and they have never heard of it and they're perfectly fine. So this is what I'm saying. It's our conditioning and our belief system. So it's so important for me as well. It was so important to see it, to see also my options. Like, what can I do? And do I have to pursue it this way, or can I just build my own dream life? And I decided to, against all the odds, just create my own life the way I want it, the way I want to live it. And it's not easy. So if you follow me on my podcast journey, it's not easy. I just had to make a very hard decision of closing my online shop, my baby. So yeah, it becomes your baby. It's your business baby. And I gave it my all. I gave it my all for so many years, and I love it. And looking back, what I created, how I created it with 5,000 euro, that was my budget. And I did it, and I ranked #1 organically on Amazon in my for my category and my product section. And I stayed there for 4 years in a row. So, and I remember back then, that was 2018, everyone said, no, Maria, you are too late. You're too late. You don't have to, don't do it. It's too late. It's too late for Amazon. I don't care. I do it. I don't care. Like, I had no choice also. That's all. I was, on a mission. And I just did what I had to do. I set it up once right. So that is it. Like, most people are half-assing it. Quick. Oh, I just want to quickly do that, and then I sell it. I sell it for millions. And yeah, these are that's another make-believe bubble. So again, whatever helps you sleep at night, just be aware you also have to stay connected with the reality as well. But for me, I actually, back then in the day, I wanted to just have a visa so I can live down in South Africa. And for that, I needed a business in Europe or in Germany in my case. And that was it. So, and then just a few months in, I realized how much fun I had doing this and how much I already learned and how much my brain expanded, because at that point I was already working in my previous industry for 9 years, and it was amazing. Again, I would do it again. Everything exactly again. It was so great. Even though when it was shit, it was great, because a great lesson and I don't know, it's just a very cool experience every time. So yeah, after 9 years, I realized that before already, that something has to change. And I just wanted to make a few changes within my industry. So I wanted to stop working for advertising projects and brands, or nonsense brands. And I wanted to work more with people one-on-one. So instead of doing the big companies, I wanted to go to people directly, like either presenters or, I don't know, people in front of cameras, or private people who really just need help sorting out their wardrobe and whatnot. And, just that kind of stuff, connecting them with great brands, stuff like that. And then I started this business for my visa application, and I realized how much fun I had. And this was my hobby until then. So, and then I turned my hobby into my new business, and I totally fell in love with it. And now I can't even imagine going back to my previous industry, maybe just for a job or so, because it's so much fun. But yeah, I couldn't do it again. And again, as I said, I recently took a job that brought me back to this old industry, and I was just like, nah, no money in the world can compensate me for what I'm actually, like, the waste of time. For my business, Green Planet Cosmetics, I have people coming to me with like bad skin disease, often, sometimes cancer, or where it's like, oh shit, it's actually turns out it has to be operated, this and that, and then they come, and then I talk them through like a healthier routine, and just recommend them stuff. I also explain to them why they shouldn't use this and that, so they know in the future, because I want you to be independent. So I'm not this kindergarten hold your hand kind of type. I like to really help yourself. So that's what I did. And they came back to me like a year later, and she's like, hey, Maria, you won't believe it, but it was time to operate on my skin, and they said there's nothing to operate on anymore. And I'm like, you see, so I cannot advertise that. So people come like, why don't you, that should be the first on your website. I'm like, no, I'm not allowed to say that, dude. You do not want to mess with the pharma industry. Not allowed. I am not healing shit, even though I do. No. But I can for sure help you with a few things, right? But again, it is not just a skin issue. Like, this was related to a lot of other stuff happening, and to just really sort out your life. So, and this is also what I'm focusing on now. So yes, I have to close my shop. And can you imagine now, I have this kind of feedback and this impact, and I'm actually helping like a real person, for real. And I mean, that's not just like, hey, I found $20, like, whee, let's go have ice cream, shit like that, right? That's already like, oh my gosh, awesome, like a happy little moment. But you actually help someone with their health, and maybe even save them a few of their years, right? Or give them a few more years to live. Isn't that insane? And now I'm back to this advertising bullshit industry, where it's, again, great team, amazing. But then the projects I do, it's literally like, what are we doing here? Right? If we are doing it or not, it doesn't matter. No one needs us. It actually would be a better world without this right here. And I was like, nah, no. It feels so empty inside and so useless, and like, what am I doing here? And when I do my job, I really feel like I am needed and I am appreciated. At least that's the type of clients, I am advertising for. Like, I really go for a specific niche, and it's just so amazing and feels so great if you can actually have this impact. Yeah, so for me, I would never go back. And again, like, that is where I was also what I was talking about to my friend is like, because she's also like, damn, what are we doing? I'm not helping anyone. I have to get out. But she's like, I don't know where to. So yeah, that is hard. I get that. If you have no idea whatsoever. But what I can tell you is, the longer you stay in this little bubble, the harder it is to see and to imagine what it could be like. So for me, it was always, I had to leave my bubble. And just, so for me, it was happened in South Africa a lot. So I was on jobs there, and then I just said, okay, that's it. Now I'm just 6 weeks, out and about. No telephone, no nothing, no laptop, no shit. I just, just off time. And during that time, I realized a lot of stuff. Why? Because I had time for the very first time in 5 years. That was the first time where I was actually like downtime to, hey, what am I doing here? Do I like what I do? Why am I going back there? Why am I spending 2 hours on the tube every day, going to jobs I don't like? And while you are doing it, you have no time to think about it. You have no time to contemplate it, to to check inside, to like really check with yourself. Do we want to do that? Is that what my being wants to do? And yeah, for me, that was a big one, and I'm so glad that I took that time off, and to really just also be far away from my actual home and to my problems, the daily problems we all have. And trust me, they will follow. So don't believe for a second that you can just go half around the globe and don't have any worries anymore. No, it doesn't work like that. But what I can tell you, what it really did to me was, it helped me to just see clearly, because I could now step away and look at it from the outside. So I had a safe space. I had a very safe distance, 12,000 kilometers to be exact, and to look at the bigger picture. And to really feel like, when you are in such a stress and such high adrenaline mode all the time, it's literally, you kind of cut yourself off from feeling what's going on. And for the first time, I came down and I was like, what am I doing? For the first time, I felt like, when the adrenaline's off, the rush is gone. And it's like, okay, what am I doing? What am I doing? Like, okay, now I have all the money I want. I have more money that I know what to do with it. But I'm still not happy. I'm still not fulfilled. And that was the point that really annoyed me. Having all the money and now still not being happy. Or there was also a time where I had all the money, but I had no time anymore. And then I was like, now, but why do I have all the money now if I can't make, amazing stuff with it? If I cannot live. And that was my point. That is still the balance I try to find of, okay, I want to make money. I want to make money with a job that I love and that actually helps other people, real people. But I also want to have time. I want to have time to enjoy this success. And if I can't do this, then, it's just completely off. It's completely off. But everyone has to decide that for yourself. Like, you have to decide for yourself, what is it that you want? That's just my example. For me, it was always finding a balance of, again, having a job I love, working my job, and because I love it so much, for me it's actually hard to stop. For me it's very hard to put everything aside and to just be private me again, right? So that is what I have to actually train a little bit more and to find a healthier balance. But to then also say, okay, cool, I've done everything and now I get to enjoy the fruits of my labor. And that was a problem with my online shop. And I tried for a long time. I tried to just keep the doors open. And that was obviously like whole COVID. And then the Russian war started, or Ukrainian war, and then inflation and all of that hitting like without a break. And again, I had no funding. I was always self-funded. And it was very, very tough, very hard. And yeah, I already kind of saw this coming 3 years ago, but I decided to give it another, just if I could just find somewhere I could go, like a country where it's very cheap, where I can just live with the little money I make at the moment, because also in Germany, half of what you make goes to the tax government stuff, like it's just half gone. And yeah, whatever is left is not a lot, right? And you have to still then pay yourself, and then you need this health insurance in Germany if you are registered there. You need to pay that, and it's like very expensive. And even though you're not using it or want it, you need to have it, and there is no, hey, choose one from a different country which is more inexpensive. No such thing. You have to have a German one. You have to have these whatever. So Germany is very strict, and they love their little lists, and they love their papers and their stamps. So that was a reason where I also like, okay, no, I'm definitely founding somewhere else again. And that is where I'm at the moment, just, finding my best solution for my very individual case right here. And for my online shop, then I decided to just calm down, to not have it open all year round, but I decided to start doing drops, because in the meantime, I can do other stuff. Again, if it is just you know what I'm talking about, because then I cannot produce, pack, fulfill, answer emails, buy new ingredients, test my new recipes, register my new recipes, be back and forth with labs to check out, okay, what else do you need, so I can have the paper, so I can register it, stuff like that, to keep my website going, to keep Amazon going, to sort out the clients there, to also ask for positive feedback, to also be on social media, and it's so much, which I had to do alone, and I did it for so long. But again, at some point, it's really like, okay, the money I make, like after tax, and the effort I put into, there's no relation to each other. And yeah, again, I tried to just, okay, maybe just give it a year until everything calms down, especially with the inflation. I was hoping that at least, I don't know. Again, that was this hoping, make believe, like, oh, it's all going to be fine. And I decided to move to Spain, and just because I wanted to learn Spanish anyway, I'm like, okay, cool, it's amazing. I do that. I still leave it open, but I only do drops 3-4 times a year. And in that time, I can figure out what's going on. Also learn a new language and also be on the farm. So I I really like to learn from farmers what's going on. So I asked a family who had a huge just off-grid farm, and they were just living off that farm all year round. They had beautiful olive trees, made their own olive oil, cheese, and everything we eat every day, it came straight from their farm on the same day. It was insane. Such a great experience. And, again, it was also a lot of work because I worked for them, and in exchange, I could stay there for free and eat. So food and accommodation was free. And again, also, I wanted to be with the local family so I can learn the language. And I did that as well. And then obviously after work, I then had to work for my business, Green Planet Cosmetics. And then on the weekends, I went on to farmers markets and stuff to sell for Green Planet Cosmetics. So it was a lot going on, and too much at some point. And yeah, now I did that for another year, hoping again. But yeah, you have to look at the numbers, and that's also what I talk to a lot on the podcast, talk to my guests and also my clients. I always say, you guys, sometimes you just have to hang in there a little longer, but sometimes you also have to just, be real, reality check. What is going on? Look at the numbers. How much do you make? How much do you spend? Right? Because most people just look at what do I make, and then they forget the side to look at what did they spend. And then other people are like, yeah, but they treat it more like a hobby because it is their little baby. But still, you have to make enough money to support yourself and your family and to have a good life. So yeah, practice what you preach. And I decided that it's definitely no relation anymore, as much as I love it and as much as my products help other people. So yeah, a lot were like, no, where am I buying my stuff now? And I'm like, hey, listen, like some people are with me for 7 years, and then there's a lot of friends who are like completely losing it. And like, no, I have you sorted. I'm still trying to whenever I can. And when the prices are okay, I'm very happy to do drops. But that is an extra, right? I don't want to promise anything I cannot keep. And this is where I'm like, okay, shop is closed. And damn, that was a hard decision because it felt like a failure, like I failed. On the other hand, I also have to look at what I just said, the balance of time, time and money, making money, but still having time to spend it and to have a good life and enjoy life. Because that's, a big part of your life should be to enjoy it. And yeah, I realized, okay, I can't do it, at least the product. Maybe I can do drops. Maybe I find a great investor, who's a great match. And then maybe we can start like a proper production. But then I'm not gonna make the products. I don't know. I will just leave that to other people. The fulfillment, all of that, I will leave that to other people. So it is not on my plate anymore. But I would love to produce my products again and to make them available for you. But until then, I would just focus on online workshops. So instead of, waiting for me to be ready, I want to teach you how to make your own products and what to look out for and how you can read the labels of your cosmetic products, for instance. Or not just that, it's also the cleaning product in the house. It's your food as well. If you know what these words mean, it's like a foreign language, but if you understand what they mean, you will be able to make very informed decisions, and they have a big impact of your health and your life. So I find that very important, and I know that I can still help a lot of people and even reach more people because I can host all of that online instead of just going to markets, right? And yeah, that is now what I'm doing. I'm also launching my new website. So by the time this airs, maybe it's already on. Have a look. I will link everything below. And I will keep you posted, of course, of all the drops I might do. If you are interested, if you want to hear all the updated news, sign up to my list. I send out a newsletter a month just with important stuff and tips and tricks and stuff like that because I hate spam emails. And honestly, you guys, I have no time for that shit. And neither have you probably. So I don't do that. So it's once a month. If you want more updates, You can follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on Patreon. I have different tiers. I also do one letter a month for free for everyone, just like my newsletter. And then I also have like tier level starting at $3. So yeah, have a look if you like. And that is my new capital, my neues Kapitel, my new chapter. I translated that straight from Kapitel, whatever. New chapter is now more focused on one-on-one, like, just, hosting online workshops, working with people one-on-one, and also focus more on YouTube channel and my podcast, and hopefully reach a lot of people. And hopefully I can motivate you, help you in any way. It doesn't really matter. I don't mind if you want to start your own business or if it's just shit, I'm too scared for whatever reasons. Maybe I can take that fear away. Maybe I can motivate you. Maybe I can give you a tip that just saves you a lot of money and time, because sometimes it's literally that. Just a little tick the box on your tax return, or on, opening your account for the Amazon seller, the FBA program, stuff like that. So sometimes it's just like one tick in the box that is wrong and just fucks it up for everyone, or just delays your payment. Why? So that is why I'm doing this. I really want to help you. I want to motivate you. I want to show you, also introduce you to other cool people who did it or are still doing it successfully. And yeah, man, that's just what I really want to focus on. Let's see how it goes. But yeah, so much updates from my side. Now I'm just gonna give you, as promised, some Berlin updates. So crazy city. I don't know. Have you been? Comment yes or no. You like it? You hate it? Ooh, I have a love-hate relationship to that city. What can I say? Right. So we was no, we did not. I actually spent New Year's Eve outside of Berlin, where my family lives, and we had the most chilled New Year's party. We were 3 people and had the best time, where it's like, what, it's already midnight. We met at noon, because we were planning on being in bed at 10, because none of us was actually into this whole craziness and madness. And well, it was just one of those, 15 hours later. I'm just wondering, and 15 hours later. However, but unfortunately Berlin was on fire, literally insane. So yeah, I don't know, for some people it's crazy. They are like, what are you guys doing? They have never seen shit like that before. I would say it's probably like, for us Germans, seeing people wearing guns. So oh yeah, now I'm being interrupted. Checking. Alles gut. Alles gut. Alles gut. Also, yeah, people wearing guns, where everyone's like, what, you guys have guns? Oh my god, and everyone goes crazy. And that was like, actually for me, like, I've never seen a closet full of guns before I went to America. And then my brother's in the army, and I was just sent him pictures, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? He's like, we don't have this type of gun, and we are like professionals. Like, I know, man. It's very American. I had the best time as well in America. So my road trip through America, awesome, epic. Probably gonna share a few stories here too. But however, it is more like this. So for them, it's normal. It's like everyone, like literally a teacher. I spoke to a teacher, and he was like, no, I have a gun. Like, when I'm like, he described a situation where he heard something in the house at night, and then he grabbed his gun and he walked around with like boxer shorts on, and I'm like, what is going on? Never. It's like unheard of in Germany. We don't do that. Yeah, interesting. So for them, that's normal. For us, it's super crazy. And then vice versa. When you probably see Berlin, Neukölln at New Year's Eve, it's like they are playing World War X. And they mean it. They mean business. And that is where we are just like super annoyed. Like, all of us is like, whoa, not again. And for other people, it's just like, holy shit, you guys are crazy. But unfortunately, in this case, not crazy good, but crazy fucking crazy. So yeah, half of the city didn't have water because some idiot kind of I don't know what they did to the water pipes, but my boyfriend just came and it's like, oh my gosh, thank God we didn't stay in Neukölln. Look at this. And I'm like, what am I looking at? It was literally underwater. And then the other half of the city, no water at all. And then they come with their homemade ammunition, I want to say. I don't know, I want to say bombs, but they are not bombs. Like we call them böller. Okay, so these are these little hand grenades they are throwing. And I mean, what is going on? It is literally like they throw them under cars, under buses, under fire engines, all of that, and in other people's flats. And I'm like, are you fucking crazy? What is wrong with you? And then you see videos of, oh, this flat is on fire, and oh, this car exploded, and oh, this one was killed. And I'm like, fuck me, that has nothing to do with celebrating New Year. And it's so annoying to see, like, what really annoys me is, it's not the fact that they are celebrating the way they want to celebrate. I don't care. Get your gun out, like shoot in the air, rip your own arm off, because you have to hold it in your hand while it explodes. It's your business. If you want to do that, do it. I do not care. I don't. But please leave everyone else alone, right? And that is what really upsets me, that they are doing it and like seriously harm others. People who do not want to have anything to do with it, who do not want to be involved. Taxpayers who have to pay for all of this, like all the damage they do is paid with the tax money, I suppose. And honestly, like when I was younger, I was like, yeah, party, you know, and we were just as crazy as these guys. And now I'm like, damn, now I am a taxpayer. And it actually pisses me off. And that's annoying. Or that they are trying to really, I don't know, hold other people back from doing their jobs, like the fire engines or the guys that come and do first aid. I don't know what that's called. Ambulance, right? And that kind of stuff. And then because of that, other people are actually dying. Or like imagine your dad has a heart attack from all of this and no one can get to him because literally these guys are being bombed on the way. And that's what I'm saying. It's literally, it feels like they are playing war. And I'm like, no. What I would say is, why don't you just have, like, let's say a place like Tempelhofer Feld, a huge place, and then you pay entry, and this entry money is to clean up the place tomorrow, so that people understand it costs a lot of money, taxpayers' money, so at least pay for it yourself or go and clean up after yourself. But they don't do that. I mean, we came back after New Year's and it looked like shit everywhere. And that is what I mean. Like, I don't mind that you have this one day where you can go completely crazy and, you know, shoot your guns and shoot your arm off. Hey, listen, knock yourself out. Do it if you want. I don't care. But stop involving innocent people and clean up after yourself, right? And then you should also sign a waiver that the ambulance and firefighters are not coming for you, because this is self-inflicted. You are provoking it. If you are holding this handmade stuff in your hand that explodes and rip off your arm and other body parts, I'm sorry, you are being old enough, and if you decide to do that, do it. But then, sorry, help yourself. That's it. And when there's time, we can take care of you, right? So yeah, that is what really bothered me. And I remember I asked my boyfriend, like, please stop showing me this. I don't want to see it because it really makes me angry, and I'm having a very great evening here with my friend. So yeah, that's upsetting. Other than that, if you want to see that madness, I understand it, but it would be really cool to just, you know, also be respectful. And again, I totally understand. It would be really shitty if, because of that, suddenly everyone is not allowed anymore to do any sort of fireworks, because some of it looks very pretty. And I remember when I was a kid, it was such a special day. We would get little stuff you can give to a kid, right? Those little sticks that burn, and like some little, like, we weren't allowed to play with fire too much. And maybe because of that, we always wanted to play with fire. But when we were a little older, maybe like 12, my dad was like, okay, but this is how we do it, and you know, you do it like that, and you are allowed to light this little rocket that goes and poof, makes this beautiful, I don't know, makes a beautiful thing in the sky. And I remember he was always very, very strict and says, no, you will never ever hold it in your hand. Do not. You have a bottle, you put it in there, you light it, you walk away, right? So he taught us very well to like really, you know, no, I guess. And I remember it was so much fun as a kid. And now imagine all of this is not allowed anymore because of this handful of idiots who are completely overboard with it. And that is what really annoys me, that everyone else has to pay the consequence for these guys. And that's what I don't like. That is what really bothers me. And it's with everything. Every stupid micromanaging rule in Germany comes from a handful of idiots who just don't know how to behave. And now everyone else has to pay their consequence. And that is just the shittiest thing you can do. And I really, it bothers me a lot. And that's why I'm saying, you know, I totally understand that people want to celebrate the way they're celebrating, even though it's not my way to celebrate. I want to give you the freedom to do that. But then in return, you should also respect the other people, right? Who did not sign up for this shit. So yeah, I really hope they will find a solution for that without completely forbidding it. But I guess they will just forbid it for everyone, which is a shame. But yeah. However, if you go to Berlin at any other day, go in summer, go in spring, go in fall. It's just very, very beautiful. Like give it a little bit of sunshine, and suddenly people are friendly as well. So it is a very cool, it's a cool space. Yeah, it's just a cool place to be for a few weeks. For me, I would never live there again. I like to spend some time there. And when I'm there, Neukölln is one of my favorite areas because it's just an original. It's the one place that really hasn't changed much. I mean, it gets crazier and crazier every time, but the essence is still what it used to be back in the day, what I really liked. And also, Neukölln is one place where you can find the most delicious food and drinks in just a few blocks. It's insane. It's literally like you can travel to foreign places without traveling, because you just go from one place to the next and you dive into a whole new world. And the food there is amazing. It is so good. It is so good. Yeah, man, these guys. I mean, really. Yeah, nightlife is awesome. I really like it a lot. Um, Again, Berlin is Berlin. You have crazy people everywhere, no matter where you have them. I never really had a problem, I gotta say. So I'm a woman. I walk around there at night, not a problem. But I'm also not this scary, like scaredy cat person where it's like, oh, it's dark. I don't walk. I walk everywhere. I walk in London. I walk in Berlin, America, South Africa. I don't know. It just I don't have any problems. But I gotta say, I do speak the language. Um, I know my way around. That helps. So yeah, but I can definitely recommend Neukölln if you want a like a proper. Oh, I gotta say, I wanted to say German, but Berlin is not typical German. Neukölln is not German, you guys. That's probably why I like it so much. Neukölln is more Arabic, Turkish. It's not German. So if you want to have a proper German experience, I will probably send you down south to Bavaria also. Or maybe Hamburg. Hamburg, I would probably also send you to. But I would not send you to Berlin. Berlin is a very special place, and it is not German at all. So yeah, it depends what you want. But within Berlin, Neukölln is awesome for food. Neukölln is awesome for a real experience, like a real Berlin experience. So forget all this touristy shit, you know, Brandenburger Tor and I don't know, whatever stuff people do. Don't. Like, go to, if you want to experience this place, go to real places, meet real people. It is so much fun. And what I like in Neukölln is I like sitting out there, like you have these very typical, it's not a restaurant, it's more like a, how do I call that? I don't know. Like you have the Spätis. They are pretty cool. They are open nonstop and you meet all sorts of people there around the clock. It's really cool. And then you also have these little bars, like little corner bars that are also very typical Berlin. You can smoke in there, you can do whatever you want in there, really. And that is usually the place where you meet super cool people and also local people. So that's what I would do. Yeah, Neukölln, definitely one of my favorites. Otherwise, Mitte, not the place I like anymore. Prenzlauer Berg, that's where I used to live before. It used to be cool. Now I don't like it anymore. It's now too fake for me. So Berlin used to be this place where no one had any money. We were just hustling. Damn, we were hustling. But it was also fun because in this like Not macht kreativ, so you get really creative when you don't have money to buy shit. So you just make it yourself. You really get creative. And that is what we had to do. So we didn't do that. You know, we found furniture on the street, let's say. I found like half of my stuff came from the street. And we did that because we couldn't just go and buy stuff. So we still wanted to make it our place. We still wanted to make it cool. So what do? It's like, hey, cool, you don't need this? No, we wanted to throw this away. Hey, can we have this chair? Because it would really, we would love it because we need something to sit on. Sure, have it, awesome. So I don't have to, chuck it away. I have to go to a place to just get rid of it. Awesome. Some other people back then, I'm not sure if it's still like this, but it used to be people were just literally putting their stuff outside, sometimes with a little sign. Otherwise, you just know if it's out there, if it stays there in a little, you see it. That's take me. It's this takeaway stuff. And I found so many awesome pieces there. And that is how we literally put furniture into our flats or decoration or even kitchen tools. So yeah, a lot of fun. And again, it wasn't because it was cool or anything. We just did what we had to do. And nowadays, and that is why these places look very unique. Like especially Berlin Wohnküchen. So it's like it's a very special arrangement. I have never seen this type of stuff in any other city. It's very Berlin-like. And they are so cool and so homey and so comfortable because it's just, it's really this a little made nest from literally what you can find on the street. But I don't know, man, it was done with so much love and so much care, and just, I don't know, man, it's a feeling. It was this atmosphere that I really, really loved. And now people are trying to I don't know, duplicate it, I guess. So they want to be cool, but they are not cool by being cool just because they are being themselves. They are trying to be cool and they are now paying €1,000 for this chair that we found on the street. And I am like, so now you are super cool and hip because now you are paying €1,000 for that, what we found on the street. Why don't you go to the street and just, this is disgusting, and someone else touched it, and I'm like, okay, I get it, whatever. It's just like, I hate this copy stuff. I hate this fakeness. I loved it because it was real, and it was so brutally honest and real. And again, you love it or you hate it. And I really, really appreciated it at the time. I'm like, yeah, it's not pretty, but it is real. And yeah, now for me, it's very fake. Indeed, very, very fake. And for me, it's not Berlin anymore. It is now evolving into a different city. It has the same name, but it's not the city that I spent a lot of time in and had a really cool early 20s, but whatever, it is what it is. Again, I changed a lot as well. Like back in the day, I was, perfectly happy to have my first fight at 8 a.m. in the morning on the way to work. And I liked it because it was an outlet, again, like it's full of aggression. It's full of negativity, the city. And now I'm just like, I just want to be in peace, dude. I just want to just chill. I don't want to fight at 8 a.m. I don't want to fight at 6 p.m. I just want to chill and have a good time. And that is also where we are not a great fit anymore, the city and I. But again, it's cool to just visit. Like living there full time and visiting are two completely different topics. But so that is my update to Berlin. It's still crazy. And if you haven't seen anything like it, then come to Berlin. If you do not speak German but want to have some sort of German, or want, whatever, a holiday in Germany, I suggest you go to Berlin, because no other place probably speaks so much English and other languages like this city. And other than that, again, keep in mind, Berlin is not German. So if you love Berlin and believe, oh, this is German, now I'm gonna move to Germany, and then you move to some random, I don't know, somewhere. No, Berlin is anti-German. It is very, very different to the, proper traditional German being. So yeah, just a heads up, just to that that you've heard it. If you want a German experience, go to any other city probably. Oh, right. Yeah, let me know. What do you say? Is Berlin awesome? Is it cool, or is it more like, oh, I can't stand it anymore? I don't know, man. I'm like both. Love-hate relationship, as I said. But yeah, it can be a lot of fun. It can be a lot of fun. If you have any addiction, maybe don't go there, because this place is just like it just sucks you in, man. And it looks like it's very hard to get out of there, because there are many, many people that are just stuck there, and they really seem to have a hard time getting out of this hole. But again, that's just from observing others. I'm just saying, knock yourself out, have fun, enjoy. If you like the dark winter month, go in winter, sure. If you just want to enjoy a long summer night where it never gets dark, go in summer, go in spring, and you are going to have a really fabulous time, I bet. So if you go, enjoy, have a lot of fun, go crazy. Just don't hurt yourself, don't hurt others. And that happens in Berlin easily. All right, you guys, that is it. First update done. I will see you, hear you, check in with you in the next one. Thank you guys for watching.